Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for sure. And it's they made what into a TV series. It's Viva Pinata, cracking on through season 2. It's episode 15, De-Mock-Racy and Her Royal Forgetfulness. Aired May 18th, 2008 on YTV. Of course, 2 segments as per always, and we're going to talk them through. Segment 1, De-Mock-Racy. The reason why I'm saying it that way is because it's how it's spelled. De-Mock, M-O-C-K, because it's a joke, and then -Racy, R-A-C-Y. Langston has been called to see the big boss, but ends up waking the bowl of fruit. The big boss reveals that Langston's job is now called Commander Guy, and that elections for his role will now take place. Basically, forced democracy. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
As the news spreads, Langston heads out on the campaign trail, working hard to keep his job. Of course, this being Viva Pinata, a lot of it for him is just painful and embarrassing. Things go wrong, though, when a campaign speech goes really badly, and it continues to go badly from there. He also accidentally makes Hudson think that he is more popular than a Hostachio, and Hudson enters the race, being very Hudson about it, of course. Langston figures he can beat Hudson at debate, though, and Hudson won't be able to dance his way out of this one. Because, hey, it's a debate, right? It's not a show and tell.
Yep.
Do you know this island?
I know.
They're going to absolutely love Hudson. Because at the debate, Hudson is very popular, and Langston is, of course, booed. But there's also a group of undecided who can't make up their minds. Of course, Hudson's charm and promise wins the crowd over, and Langston struggles to be even involved in the debate. People just want to hear from from Hudson. When he does recover, he suggests personal canonatas, but Hudson laughs and says that Pinata Central runs itself. Yeah, what are you doing, man? Pinata Central runs itself. Langston is launched out of his cannon, and while he flies through the air, he is incredulous about the idea of Pinata Central running itself. However, he gets an idea of how he can win the election. You can kind of see where this is going. Pinata Central, of course, doesn't run itself. Yep. Langston does. Well, okay, let's put Hudson in charge of that. And the next day, Langston calls him. Tells Hudson to come and see how Pinata Central works, as he's obviously going to win. You're going to win, so you might as well come and have an idea of how it works. Yeah. Hudson thinks it's a great idea and brings his film crew along. It's all part of Langston's plan, as Hudson struggles to handle the madness and confusing systems. Hudson is left alone to work the canonata, but ends up causing chaos when he pushes the wrong button, launching pinatas all over the world. Hudson is then chased out and Langston gloats. Later, Hudson tells Simone, look, I can't run anymore, and has to ruin his own chances. He's now thinking, oh my God, I don't want this job, but I'm going to win, so I need to ruin this. So he goes out in a campaign and creates carnage to convince others not to vote for him. This is one of the funniest sections of this segment. Yeah. At least it's memorable stuff. Because, of course, Hudson at his rudest is still extremely popular. But the results do eventually come in, and the winner is undecided. Apparently, undecided wins. Big Boss now decides to intervene and says, hey, this segment's gone on too long. Let's end this. He declares the whole thing dumb, putting Langston back in charge. So making everything we saw completely irrelevant.
Waste of time,
Yep, thanks for that. Langston's celebration speech is ruined by the usual slapstick antic style. And that's segment 1, De-Mock-Racy. Completely and utterly forgettable. So forgettable that I didn't even remember what happened in it outside of reading the notes.
All I had to do was go to Fergie, look, get your crew to vote for me. I will never send you a party. Done. Yeah. I will never send you to a party if you get everyone to vote for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but then to be fair, Langston thought he could win this fairly. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, he figured people would understand it and all that. Which is weird because most people seem the only person that has a problem with Langston is Fergie and Paulie. Yeah. Nobody else does. They want to go to parties. Yeah. So why wouldn't they, vote for? I don't know. We're overthinking it. It's Viva Pinata. It's as fluff and throwaway as you get. And that brings us to segment 2, Her Royal Forgetfulness. It's an Ella episode, and as per usual, it starts off with forgetfulness. The others are looking for Paulie, and it turns out she sat on him 2 days ago, though. Okay, now Paulie wants to know about the garden mentioned on her pinata tag, as she has never heard of it. So while he was underneath her, he noticed she's got a tag on her butt, basically, and it's a garden he's never heard of and she's never heard of. Hudson ends up looking it up and finds that Ella is the queen of this secret garden. Okay, all right, this is interesting. Yeah. She's stunned and confused, especially as the others get weird and start worshipping her. Yeah, what's with this lot? What is with this lot? They build her a castle, don outfits, and Langston tells us she will never have to attend a party again, which Fergie overhears. And seeing that royalty is above it, he thinks this gives him an idea. Fergie doing what Fergie does.
Yep.
The next day, Ella is startled when Fergie interrupts her bath. Why is he here? To convince Ella that they're married. Which works. Yeah. He is now king, and the others refuse to believe it, of course. However, Fergie gets her to royally announce his role, and they all fall in line. So they're like, okay, well, if he's going to be king, we'll play along.
Great show again with a great message.
Yeah, lie to get what you want, of course. You take advantage of a mentally ill elephant.
Exactly.
There we go. Fergie now starts to have some fun with it, turning Langston into the court jester. Paulie confronts him and Fergie reveals he's done this to not go to parties and then throws Paulie in a dungeon. Okay, this is where it does work though, is he's gone mad with power, but the Fergie voice actor always has so much life to him, and the animation makes him look quite insane. I always enjoy elements like this. Sometime later, everybody's working hard outside and are being taxed with candy from their body. So he's gone like full on...
Daenerys, huh?
Yeah, villain, you know? A secret group have gathered though, one made up of Les, Langston, Paulie, Franklin and Hudson. They need to stop Fergie, but we don't hear their plan. So again, I like this. It's like, oh, we're going to overthrow the royal king. You know, it's very classic. I was kind of hoping they're going to behead him. French Revolution style. Instead, we cut to Fergie in the throne, who's being a bit of a dick again. He's been able to distract Ella with royal prompt cards, and she's been reading them throughout. So that's how he's getting away with his behaviour with her. Franklin comes along and tries to get Fergie to come with him, revealing their plan, until Paulie shuts him up, should I say, and says a chocolate little lake with marshmallows has apparently appeared. Fergie and Ella get in their carriage, but they are then taken to another part of the island, and Fergie is told his reign is over, and he is hung up to be hit like a piñata. So it is getting brutal, absolutely. As the executioner goes to deliver the blow, so they are doing a jokey being executed figure, but from a piñata angle. A real member of royalty arrives. It's King Rorio. Do you remember this guy? He popped up previously in a couple of episodes, previous seasons. He reveals that Ella was queen, but her forgetfulness means she always wandered into new gardens. There, she will be deified as queen until a piñata became mad with power. Ella then left and the garden fell to ruin. Exactly what is happening now. I kind of like that idea. That Ella... just wandered the world, deified and all that. And then, I kind of liked it. King Rorio says they can stop this simply by never telling Ella. And this works. But not for Fergie, who must pay for his behaviour. And that's how the segment ends. I don't mind this one. I think this segment's got a bit more imagination to it. And it's kind of like a funny little message at the end as well. That Fergie, this one of the few times, right, that Fergie gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I can say about it is I actually remember this episode from watching it.
This segment, not the episode,
segment, a month and a half ago, so I actually remember this one. So
yeah, I think it's okay. I think segment 2 is worth a watch if you really want to kind of get your Viva Pinata feel. De-Mock-Racy, forgettable as hell. But I do think as well, this is a good example of where they do put two segments well together. One, democracy, about democracy, and the other about royalty, because of course royalty is not democratic in the slightest. It's literally, we're in Britain, which has a royal family, and no one voted for them, and they're simply there because of who banged who and who was born, basically. So I quite like the fact that these two segments are put together. But overall, it's middling because we've got one bad and one good. So it sits right in the middle. It's episode 15, De-Mock-Racy Her Royal Forgetfulness. You got any thoughts and you know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.